So we're gonna move to the Q&A session. 我们把问题交给现场的社员。我这里搜集到一个问题，它来自4排的6号。这位先生叫杨瑞芳，或者是女士。您好。
谢谢老师。首先呢，我认为这本书非常的棒。然后，假如将来我有孩子的话，我希望能把它作为一个启蒙教育开发的一本书。但希望您觉得这是一个很好的赞美这样子。那么我的问题是这样子的，因为听到您前面说我们的子孙呢未必会有子孙，那么因为我们中国人很注重家庭的传承，我们通常会在从祖辈和我们子孙辈之间的链接寻找自己生存或者奋斗的一种意义。那么子孙都未必有子孙，我们个体存在。又该怎么办呢？您个人是怎么认为这个传承是什么样一个概念？好，谢谢。
Well, this is a very difficult and important question. And the truth is that we don't know. Nobody really knows how the world would be like in a century or two. It's unclear whether human beings like us will still live on this planet in a century or two. In fact, it's more likely that the answer is no. There will no longer be human beings like us in the world in a century or two. We are seeing two main options of what might happen. One option is that human beings will upgrade themselves using biotechnology and other technology. We will upgrade ourselves into superhumans or into gods. We'll become very different from what we are today. So we will still have descendants. We will still have kind of great-great-grandchildren, but they will no longer be human in the sense that you and me are human. They will be something very different, in the same way that we are different from Neanderthals or chimpanzees. The other option is that human beings will not be upgraded, they will be replaced by something very different, like artificial intelligence. We will create something which is more powerful, more intelligent than we are, something very different from us. We are organic beings. We might create inorganic artificial intelligence, which will then replace us, and which may spread from planet Earth to other planets, to the rest of the galaxy. The same way that we replaced previous species, we will be replaced by artificial intelligence. Is it good? Is it bad? This is an open question. But this is, the other main option that we are seeing. What will happen? Nobody really knows for sure. History is not deterministic. Technology is not deterministic. With the same technology, you can create many different kinds of worlds. With the technology of the Industrial Revolution in the 19th century, you could create a capitalist society, or a communist society, or a fascist society. The technology itself did not tell you what to do with it. Similarly now, with the new technology of computer science and biology, biotechnology, all kinds of possibilities are open, and nothing is yet determined.
好，我们下一个问题，我问一个来自线上的，他说：“您认为人类最好的故事是什么？” What's the best story of humankind, or will be?
Well, the best story of humankind, as I said in the previous, in the morning, I think it's a story that recognizes the difference between stories and reality. A really good story is a story that involves self-awareness, that you are aware, yes, this is just a story. It has its role in the world. It's good that it's there, like money. It's good that we have money, otherwise there is no trade. But you never forget, this is just a story. This is not the ultimate reality. So the best story of humankind is a story which has reality at its basis, at its heart.
好，中间提示一下，我们的打赏时间将在4:05关闭。 我现在问一个来自现场的问题，我们把话筒交给后面一点的位置吧。
你好，那个我们都看过有2个电影啊，就一个电影是那个疯狂机器人，那里面呢就把人类的未来描写成人类像被智能机器圈养的一群猪一样。第2个呢就是关于这个电影名字叫《超能查派》，也就是说人类到了后面那个阶段就会变成依附在这个机器人身上。所以我不知道教授你针对这2个问题，这2个方向或者说人类未来的终局，你怎么样个判断？
So, thank you for the question. Again, we don't really know what will happen. For the first time in history, we look 40, 50 years to the future, and nobody knows what the world would look like, even what humans would look like. So there is an option, again, of using biotechnology to upgrade humans. We'll still have organic bodies, but we'll have improved health, improved physical and mental abilities. Another option is that humans will merge with computers, will merge with robots to form cyborgs. Cyborgs are beings which are part organic and part inorganic. You still have an organic brain, but it is connected, let's say, to organic arms or to organic eyes. To inorganic arms or to inorganic eyes, bionic. You can even have bionic parts, tiny little robots inside your body. More and more experts are talking about the potential of nanotechnology, of creating tiny robots, much smaller than the size of a human cell, that you will have millions of such robots inside your body as a kind of nano-immune system or robotic immune system, in addition to the organic immune system that we get from our human nature, from biology, from evolution. We will have a second immune system, which is bionic robotic, millions of tiny robots in your blood, looking for germs, looking for cancer cells, and destroying them, fighting them. So this is a kind of dual being, part organic and part inorganic. And then the third option is the creation of completely non-organic life. You don't even have an organic brain anymore. You have a completely inorganic life form, like an artificial intelligence that resides in a computer, that serves virtual realities. It has no organic component whatsoever. These are the 3 main options that today we see. Science fiction movies explore in creative ways these various options. At present, today, we don't know what will become true and what will remain just stories, just fantasies.
Hi, dear professor. I'm Dinah. Thank you so much for your lecture today. Actually, first, I cannot help expressing my feeling today. Your lecture and your books, stirring, insightful. I have learned so much from books and your thinking. My question is, firstly, how you cultivate the way of thinking? Just because I think your way of thinking is so special so different. Yeah.
So it's difficult to say because I'm not sure about it myself. I think one of the things that really helps me to think about these issues is that I practice meditation every day for 2 hours. I practice Vipassana meditation. And I go every year for a retreat of maybe 30 days or 40 days or even 60 days, cut off completely from the world. No computers, no cell phones, no mobile phones, not even books, nothing. Just doing meditation for 1 month or 2 months, this Vipassana meditation. And this helps me very much to focus, to differentiate what is important from what is less important, and maybe above all else to differentiate reality from just stories in the mind. Because at least this type of meditation, there are many types of meditation, but this type of meditation, at its center, is this practice of observing what is reality, what is really real in comparison to all the stories we invent in the mind. We can sometimes live our whole lives without noticing that we are actually enslaved to all these stories which we hear from other people, from religion, from society, and so forth. And we never really understand what reality is. And this practice helps me a lot as a scientist and as a historian to, again, differentiate what is real in the world, what is real in history, compared to the fictions we invent, and what is important from all the things that are happening. So this is perhaps one practical advice that I can give.
Hi, just you mentioned new technology will create a new inequality in the future, maybe. But I think business competition may eliminate this inequality because, say, one company already got the solution to eliminate death, but some other companies, they want to enter this new market. They will hire more scientists to research on that, and more people will benefit. They will cut the price, and they will just increase the market, and more people will benefit from that. Mm-hmm. So what do you think?
Well, definitely. We will see prices going down of older treatments, older medicines, but all the time the pace of change is just increasing. So at the same time that all treatments are becoming vastly available, you will always have the cutting edge, the new thing, which is even more expensive maybe, and which is available only for a small part of the population. Again, I don't want to give the impression that this is certain. I just want to highlight certain possibilities, that we shouldn't be complacent and think that automatically whatever inventions, whatever advancement we have in biotechnology, it will just automatically or by itself reach everybody. Unless you have government regulation, unless you have an effort in this direction, you cannot just trust the market to make it so. Because what we are seeing today, at least in some areas, that especially in the most innovative technologies, you have one company that corners the whole market. Like you have search engine, then in the, I don't know about China, but at least in the West, Google cornered the market and nobody can now compete with them. And with social media, Facebook cornered the market and now nobody can compete with them. And the same thing can happen with biotechnology. Because, for example, with genetics, the key for a good genetics corporation is to have a big database of genes and statistics about what is the impact of this gene or that gene. The first corporation which will create the first massive database of genetics will probably corner the market, and unless governments intervene, it will be extremely difficult to compete with this corporation. Let's say you have a corporation that has a database of 10 million DNA scans of 10 million people. And based on that, it gives prediction what diseases somebody with your DNA is likely to suffer from. Now a new corporation is trying to compete. The new corporation, it's new, so it has a very small database of only 1,000 people. Its algorithms will therefore have a much smaller database. Its predictions will be much worse. So everybody would go to the first company. And this first company will then have a bigger and bigger and bigger database because everybody is going to them. And then their predictions will be even better. And nobody could compete with them. So in such a way, in a field like genetic predictions, you can very easily see how the first corporation to build a massive database will be the first to corner the market, and nobody could then compete. Unless governments intervene, maybe to create a governmental authority which holds this database and maybe makes it free. Again, this is not a prediction, it's just a kind of warning. I think that as a historian, as somebody who is coming from the fields like history and philosophy and so forth, we cannot make prophecies about the future. We can only map different possibilities, and it is our responsibility to highlight the most dangerous and threatening possibilities in order to guard against them. If you just tell people, oh, let's look at the bright, at the good possibilities, then you become complacent, and then you don't take the necessary steps to prevent the bad possibilities from coming true.
特别高兴啊！我们今天最后的一个问题呢，来自今日资本的徐鑫。徐鑫是可以说是中国的 top investor 哈，最好的投资人之一。那么他的问题呢是关于学习的。他说 ，Dear Professor Harari, most historians are 60 years old, and you are only 38. You are not only studied the history of humankind, but also explored the future. Huge data, huge information. So how did you manage to learn much? What is your secret of learning? And where does your inspirations and creativity come from? Any tips for all of us?
Oh, well, again, I don't really know. Maybe the hardest thing in the world is to know yourself. You explore the whole world, you read books, you travel to different countries, you learn so much, but to know yourself still remains the most difficult problem. On the other hand, the more you know yourself, the easier it becomes to understand all the other phenomena in the world. Because usually, what makes it most difficult for us to understand things outside are the blockages, the difficulties inside us. Very often, we don't understand something because we don't want to understand it. We don't explore something, not because it's not there, but because we are blind to it. We can't see it. So I think, again, that the best answer I can give is that by investing time in coming to understand yourself, you also gain the ability to understand the whole world and to be much more open and much more creative. This is the advice that I can give on this subject.